Italians of Reddit, how do you feel about the way other countries are currently handling the pandemic? Italian here with the real question. Why toilet paper? We ran out of flour, yeast and mozzarella. That I can understand, because you eat it. But toilet paper? You don't eat toilet paper? I'm Italian, living in Milan, Lombardy, North Italy. This COVID-19 has been like a wave. You see a huge wave but it's very far, so you basically don't care. You think by the time it will be here, it will be just a small wave. Only when it gets too near you see a 100-foot wall of water going to hit you. And then it's too late to do anything but you just brace for impact and hope for the best. The first death attributed to COVID-19 has been registered here on the 21st of February. There's now proof that the coronavirus has reached Italy in January, and probably at the start too. There have been reports of unexpected hospitalizations with pneumonia since late December too. Now you can understand why we reached 700 plus daily deaths. This virus had all the time to spread around with most of the people not even realizing it. As most of Italians, I don't understand why other countries are not handling it better and why they are all underestimating the impact it has on lives. I mean, we have the answer, and it's $$$$$$$. Edit. I'm quite touched by your words and interest. All I want to suggest you, especially if you live in a country with coronavirus cases, please, distance yourself from other people. Stay home as much as possible. Keep your hands as clean as possible. Don't care about other people's judgments or don't follow your politicians. Work from home if you can. We had 969 deaths in Italy today. That's the highest ever to date. Italian here. I'd say that generally the news report that other countries are following our example by adopting those measures we implemented in the first place. So we are somewhat glad that other countries are doing their job. However, given the situation, we're frustrated when we see that despite those measures people are still going outside and panic buying and the like. We especially feel sorry for the next hit country in Europe, Spain. Stay strong, lads. Some people here have started to have anti-EU sentiments after some problems we had with the ECB, and we try to stay positive by thinking that, given that we were one of the first countries to get the disease, we might be among the first to recover and have a head start when it comes to production and exports. And we hope that we have a head start on the economy as a whole. Japan here. Japan for a week or so believed itself almost immune to COVID-19. There were multiple things on Twitter blowing up about how people were saying that because the Japanese were hygienic and washed their hands, wore masks regularly, the virus hadn't spread rapidly. However, a lot of other people believed that they were actually artificially keeping the numbers low because they wanted the Olympics to go ahead. There were reports of a lot of people being turned away for testing. In the last few days Tokyo's numbers have doubled, and are speeding up at an alarming pace. Japan has like no time to react, and today Prime Minister Abe came out saying a lockdown would be bad for the economy. So, we learned nothing. Why did it take so much for you to close down? I was terrified to see stadiums full of people for Champions League. Guys, we have the army that needs to move bodies from Bergamo to other cities because the crematorium can't run fast enough. There is a town that in previous years averaged 35 deaths from January to March. This year they registered 158 deaths and only 31 of those are officially by COVID. There's shortage of coffins, and of funeral directors, because they are getting sick as well. This is serious. So, it's true many deaths are not being officially attributed to COVID-19? Well, it's much worse. I mean, you also have some deaths where people didn't die of COVID-19 but died from lack of care, ICU beds, etc. due to the pandemic. I don't know what the numbers should be, and it does sound suspicious, but it wouldn't be surprising that some of the high numbers are due to otherwise preventable deaths that aren't from COVID-19. I live Closabi, Bergamo. Everyone believes, as far as I know, that most countries reacted slow and did the same mistakes we did. If everyone would have just taken this seriously, many lives would have been and would be saved in the future. However, governments chose to keep the countries open as long as possible to not have more severe economical repercussions. At this stage most Italians are really focused themselves, except the brief mention of cases in other countries in the mainstream media. Stay home. Stay safe. I'm in New Zealand and TBH our government actually acted pretty quick. We have gone into a minimum 4-week compulsory lockdown across the whole country and this decision was made with only 30 or so cases at the time. Now we are up to a couple of hundred but I think it was the smart thing to do. I'm an Italian that lives in Norway. I have family in Milan. I was following Italian news outlets as this was starting. It was incredibly stressful seeing this gradually ramp up while Norway was doing nothing. There was this strong mentality of this is not our problem. As it begun to spread here, finally Norway went into lockdown 12th of March. I have Norwegian friends that live in England who are experiencing that same fear I initially had of why isn't our government doing anything. There seems to be this constant lag caused by world leaders not truly understanding the magnitude of this, or just not wanting to risk their economy. Edit. The meme "rip to your grandma but I'm different" is now real life. I'm a New Zealander and even our local gangs have quarantined their drug dealers. I mean, if they feel concerned then maybe the rest of the world should take a few notes lol. Sadly it's gonna be a while until my next high. I'm Brazilian and I'm pissed with what Jair Bolsonaro, current president, said. That MF said that coronavirus is just another flu and that we shall continue our normal lives. I'm so effing lucky I moved to Canada before this happened. But I'm worried ASF for my friends and family that are out there partying and not knowing what's creeping behind the corner just waiting to get inside of you. I'm Italian as well. Here's the thing, it's hard to grasp for people the numbers you see, the number of positive cases, and especially the deaths. They are not from the whole country of 60 millions, but they are mostly from an area that at the most comprises of 10 million people. Put that in perspective if you can. The reason why our numbers are not ridiculously large, meaning widespread around the country and not just somewhat circumscribed, is because we locked everything down as soon as we got an idea of what was really happening. And yes, we made mistakes, but in many ways we feel we are ground zero for a Western country. As Mena mentioned, in Europe the methods used by South Korea would be illegal. We thought we'd be leaders and be able to teach a grand lesson, and then we see country after country falling in the air. This is serious impasse. They said we got out of control because our health system is not good. It is actually pretty great. They said it got out of control because our population is older, sure, but much older than the rest of Europe. They didn't trust our experience. It drives me berserk to see the military trucks hauling away corpses out of Bergamo and people in Florida saying that since they waited 2 months for spring break they are not going to give it up. Nobody is singing out of their balconies in Bergamo. It is insane that the leadership in the US has downplayed this threat so recklessly, even after having all the data in hand. Now we're giving this virus a chance to mutate and be even more aggressive. F you for not listening.